Wow. What up, everyone? It is Mojo Blues here on a glorious E3 Sunday. Wow. I was supposed to be live at 10:30. I'm a few minutes late to my own show. I ate a nice big breakfast this morning, and I don't know. Then I started coughing and then gagging, and oh my, it was some weird shit. I don't normally eat this early in the morning. Normally, I don't eat my first meal of the day till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Whatever. I'm sure most of y'all don't care about that kind of stuff, hearing about me talk about that. But hey, this has got to be the saddest day in the year for all those, we won't even call them names. We'll just say PlayStation fanboys. We won't call them that other word that everybody uses for them. Although I don't think that's mean in any way. I know most of the ones that I know locally here, that I know in person, they actually brag and call themselves ponies. They worship Sony. They not just with the PlayStation. They own Sony TVs and stereo equipment and receivers, speakers, and junk like that. And yeah, I mean, Sony used to be, back in the day, had a certain level of quality if you bought their higher line of stuff. I think they called it ES was their higher line. And they same thing. They had something for their televisions that little nomenclature to let you know which was the better ones. But whatever. We're not talking about that. We're talking about all these sad Sony fanboys. The company that they worship, their piece of plastic, doesn't even show up at the biggest gaming event of the year. It's crazy. How are they not here? I mean, last year, there was no E3 because of COVID. That was expected. There was no shows anywhere. Everything got canceled. So a few companies throughout the year, including Microsoft, did their own shows. And Jeff Keighley's, or whatever his name is, he did his show stuff last year. But that was all different because it was not going to be an E3. But thank God, E3 is back, baby, and back like you would not believe. This is going to be such a massive show. It kicked off yesterday with some smaller shows. I think Ubisoft had theirs. And my God, what is up with Ubisoft and their hatred of a certain game that used to be, I think originally it was exclusive to Xbox, and then they sold enough that it went multi-plat, or maybe they had to go multi-plat to sell enough. I don't know. Yeah, a little Tom Clancy action there. But for whatever reason, Ubisoft just will not make a game of that. They'll put that character in other games, cell phone crap, and apparently there's a anime show coming. My God, how are you doing an anime show but you won't do a new game? Oh, it's just, yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. But it is what it is. And who knows? Maybe there'll be some getting pulled out of their ass announcement at Microsoft show today, which I doubt. I think it would have been announced yesterday and they would have said, hey, you'll see more tomorrow on the Microsoft stage. If that's what they were, if it was real. But I just don't think they want to do that. It's pretty sad. And the dude that stars in, I'm not mentioning the name of the game, by the way, because, why? Ubisoft ain't making the game anyway. I don't give them any press. But holy smokes, Michael Ironside, what a great B-movie actor. He's been in some great stuff. And he did the voice in multiple of those games. And even though he's pretty old now, he's not too old. He couldn't do another game. But they're gonna fuck around, and he won't be around, and then you're gonna have somebody sound like him, or they might just go somebody totally different that uses their own voice, but it won't be the same. Ubi, you've been making some great games, and I appreciate how well you've supported Xbox with the next gen games. Good on you. But put it this way: bring back Sam Fisher. All right, put him in his own game, full up, no holds barred. Come on. All right, enough of that. Everybody whines about that, and yeah, it's pretty funny because Ubi said we're not doing that, so the gaming fanboys or whatever just come out of the woodworks wanting that game. And that's okay, sometimes you want what you can't get. Back to E3. Wanting what you can't get. I don't think PlayStation will ever come back to E3. They don't have the kind of money you have to spend to be at one of these big shows. I mean, that's obvious. They'll do their own little thing where they just stick a bunch of trailers up on YouTube and call it a day, and their fanboys will clap their little hands together like, a walrus, and they're fine. So, I'm not saying that you have to be at E3 or it's going to hurt them in any way. No, it's not. But it's just important for the industry. It's a celebration of all things gaming. And it's pretty sad that the number 2 console company is not at the biggest console event of the year. Wow. Yeah, Microsoft is number 1. Shut up. Yeah, shut up. They're way more than just number 1 now. They've I know the gen's early, but they've just crushed it with Game Pass, and they're already over 30 million paid subscribers. Sony's never going to catch up to them. This gen is won already, much like last gen was won by June or July of that year back in 2013. Sony had already won the gen. They were outselling Microsoft 2-1, and even though there were no good games on PlayStation initially, didn't matter. That's what they were buying. Well, it's different this time. Yeah, they're still selling a crap ton of PlayStations because the ponies who had it last gen are going to go run out and buy it. But Microsoft's got the same momentum. So they're selling every console that they can produce. Good on them. They got the best services. And Game Pass is just so massive. I mean, Sony's jamming it up your rear and breaking it off. My God, $70 a game. All your games are free on Xbox, people. Yeah, you heard me. It's free. If I didn't have to pay for that game and I get to play it, it's free. The $15 a month, I pay that for the right to be online and get the 1 or 2 games with gold, giveaways, whatever you want to call it. Those are also freebies. But the Game Pass games, that's just all butter. Oh, butter. It's so cool. And Sony can never replicate that because they can't afford to not make any money off games for a couple of years until they build up a big enough subscription base that they'll be profitable. I mean, they just can't afford to do that. It's not, it's pretty tough. There are some other companies that are finding that out now, Who put out Stadia? Ooh. Yeah, it's ugly business. Unless you can handle just not making money for years. And and continue to invest. It costs a lot of money to make these games. And Microsoft's able to keep right on making them and buying studios left and right. They're going to announce something today. Who knows whether it's 1 or 5. I hope it's 5. That would be awesome, but it's probably just 1. But even that's still pretty cool. That's, throw your fans a bone. And then you can announce the other 4 throughout the rest of the year as you get around to it. Because we know you're buying them. They're going to end up well over 30. That's, I don't think they have a set goal number, but they're looking at like one big, massive, triple A in your face goodness every quarter. But in the meantime, during that same quarter, almost weekly, they're going to be dropping double A's and single A's of brand new games. And then them bangers are going to come double the amount that Sony's making or can make. This is Microsoft's where you want to be. That's why I've said they've won this generation already. Hey, there's always next time for Sony. They've made so many mistakes. Their console is the ugliest that's ever been made. I mean, let's face it, the PS5 is butt ugly. 2, it runs crazy hot, and it's causing glitchiness in some models, not all. It just depends on how much you play and what game you're playing, things like that. And Sony has done some updates to help negate that. They've done a few things here and there, but it still hasn't fixed it. And the truth is, it can't just be fixed. So the true fix is they're doing a complete internal redesign. It'll be out early next year, and it'll make sure that overheating area in that one particular part that runs it like it was on the sun itself, they're going to make sure that somehow touches the cooling. Either air directly blowing on it, or there'll be a heat pipe, over to the heat sink or whatever that'll come over, and it will be fixed. So all those people from early next year onward will have good, hopefully long-lasting consoles. All you fuckers that bought your console back when they dropped, sorry to tell you, but your console's not going to last. Hey, I got somebody here. I don't know who it is. I don't have my chat turned on. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. I'll turn it on. I'll see if they type something in chat, brother, and we'll see who you are. But anyway, yeah, those overheating issues will be taken care of next year for Sony. But man, they're screwing a lot. They've already sold 7 million roughly, and who knows? Maybe they have 8 or even 9 million out there. But scalpers own most of them. Also with the Xbox too, I get that. Scalpers have them. Man, somebody jumped in, looked around, and said, "Ain't nobody else here." Out of here. I don't blame them. I am like a fine fucking wine. I'm an acquired taste. I do not hold back. Hopefully that was some pony jumped in here and was like, "Oh shit, I got to get the fuck out of here." He is not holding back. And I won't, by the way. I feel like if Sony does something bad, you have the right to criticize them. I do not have to criticize Microsoft at the same time. That's my biggest hang up against some of the big Xbox YouTubers. Anytime they say something critical about PlayStation, they feel like they got to say something critical about Xbox. They just fucking do. They're afraid. They don't want to be labeled as a, I get that kind of to a point. But see, I don't care. I was just saying the other day, speaking of being critical about certain things, I've reached that phase of life where I just don't give a fuck anymore. I can wear them little black socks with my tennis shoes and a pair of shorts and go out in public. Got no shame to my game. I'm almost 60, people. And I've had some bad health issues over the last year. Thought maybe I was going to die. Thought maybe they was going to amputate a leg or a foot. Shit, you not. It was bad times for the mojo. But you know what? I came through it all like a champ. I not only survived, I have flourished. And later this year, I'm moving to Thailand. Hell yeah, mojo in Thailand. Oh, they will be videos to follow. But I'm not going to like October. There's still like crazy COVID insurance you got to buy and just stupid expenditures that are not really necessary. And I want some of that crap to go away. So as the COVID requirements dwindle, then I will, get me a visa, and I'm going to do the retired visa thing and go stay for a year. And who knows? I might only last a couple of months. Get over there and be like, yeah, this third world living's not for mojo. Because I've lived in some third world countries, by the way. If you don't know my history, I am retired from the United States Air Force. I was the #1 air traffic controller during my time. I was a beast and did 3 years right off the bat in Germany. Come back and got put in a mobility unit where I was traveling all over the world. It was a combat comm unit. I was what was called a dispersed air traffic controller, not a combat controller. That's totally different. I was a dispersed air traffic controller. It was pretty cool. They don't have those anymore. It was not cost effective. We were too special. Too special. They're cheap fuckers now and they don't want to do that. But anyway, after the 2 years doing that, or 15 out of 24 months, I was traveling all over the world. I went to, I wanted to say I went to Korea, but no. I went to Panama. Yeah. And I did 4 years in Panama. Holy shit. Good times there. Beaches and blue water and girls with curves. God. Panama was fun. Come back and did just a normal 2-year stint. Was in South Carolina. Kind of liked it there. Got a few trips there too, by the way, because I was the unit I was in was it was pretty cool. They went to Vegas for the, I don't want to say flight school because it's not really that. It's where they do like a battle against each other in the fighter squadrons, but whatever. Anyway, did some traveling, mostly stateside, and that was pretty cool. I think I had one trip up to Cold Lake, Canada for a exercise then. And that'd been the second time I'd been to Cold Lake in Canada. It's not a lot there, by the way. Then I got that itch to go back overseas, and then I went to Korea. Stayed 2.5 years. It was a 1-year assignment to Kunsan, and then actually 3 years. And then I did a year at Osan, and then I doubled that. I extended there a year. So it was like a 3-year jaunt in Korea. 1 in Kunsan, 2 up in Osan. God, I love Osan. They used to call me the mayor of Sontag. Yeah, good times. We are here to drink your beer and fuck your women. Wow. I never said that out loud at a bar, but I've heard that said. But good times. But unfortunately, that is where I discovered Filipinas. Whew. LBFMs. Lovingly, LBFM. Little brown fuck machines. Whoa, I am on that cutting edge right now, getting myself kicked off of YouTube. And it's okay. They're not going to kick me off for an LBFM remark because I say it lovingly. I was actually married to one at one time, so this is all good. But I might be getting my timeline messed up anyway. I'm so crazy excited over E3. I'm telling war stories. I got into a mobility unit again a second time, but this is a different kind of mobility unit. Wasn't the combat com. This was in AMC, and we built air bridges into and out of disaster areas and war zones. And when there wasn't a disaster area or a war zone, we practiced that all over the world. And this was from, oh my God, late 90s into the 2000s. I was there quite a few years, and that's where my marriage ended. Nothing sad about that. Yeah. But, man, that unit, that was lots of fun. Good work, good play. I mean, all over the world. And then I came back for a couple of years into a unit in the States, and then missed being overseas, and then went back to Korea. Yeah. Good times again. Won't discuss specifically who I was with and not with in those places, but it was all good. And then I came back to the States for a couple more years after that, and retired. Got a job working for Pepsi, making soda in the lab at Pepsi Cola. This is good money, by the way, everybody, in case you're wondering. Good benefits, pretty good company to work for. I can't say bad shit about Pepsi. I just can't. I can say bad shit about 9 to 5 work, punching the clock. It's a slave to, a big corporation, but damn, they pay pretty good. Wasn't great, by the way. I mean, I was a lab tech, but even as a lab tech, you're not pulling in the kind of money. It wasn't a medical lab. I mean, my God, we made soda, made the finest soda in the world. Actually, I'm a Coke guy secretly, but I made Pepsi and Mountain Dew, which Mountain Dew is pretty special. And those were some pretty good times, Few friends still from there. And I was actually going to work all the way up until I was like 62, 63 and retire and live that old man retired life. And but at 57, actually, I might have even, no, I just turned 57. I got sick. I got bad sick. I had heart failure. My legs got swollen up, and I got sores on them, and then those got infected, and it was not good. Months in the hospital, and months after that, seeing a wound specialist. But again, I told you I came out the other side. I triumphed. And then motherfuck, in October of last year, I had a fucking stroke. Holy shit, just crazy stuff, one after another. But luckily, only after a couple of days, I snapped out of that and was okay. Could walk and talk and use all my fingers. Holy fuck. That's some scary, scary stuff. But that's when I realized I got to go back overseas. It's time to go to Thailand. Now, I got to go to Thailand on temporary duty while I was in the Air Force. But I didn't get to do all the fun stuff. I was over there working. Had one night in Bangkok. That was pretty fun, but wasn't with none of my buddies. It was just me and a lieutenant and a fucking general. And so, yeah, I went out with the lieutenant, but being an officer, we're not allowed to party and be friends and stuff. So we had to do whatever we did on the sly. But anyway, dude, I was after a massively long flight, so it wasn't like we did a lot. And then that next day, we were off down country, and we were on Thai military base, and we just bounced around from Thai base to Thai base. It was some kind of training bullshit being implemented, and I think the general was also looking at doing some kind of report for the Air Force on whether or not it would be viable for the Air Force to come back or to move into Thailand if the government so choose to let us. I think maybe someday back in the Philippines is possible, but no, Thailand, they don't need us. They don't want us. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But anyway, and he might not have been doing that, by the way. I don't know. His job way more important than mine. The lieutenant was there just to be a driver. My job was to operate some radio equipment and get him on the internet no matter where we were at, on a moment's notice using some satellite radio equipment. It was fun. It was cool stuff, but it wasn't the crazy bars and bar girl and partying type fun. And I've always thought, man, you did not. I mean, for God's sake, I was the mayor of Santag in South Korea, Osan Air Base. Yeah. And I loved the bar girls, and I spent multiple trips to the Philippines. I love my mama signs. Mama, give me a cold beer, a white dog, and a couple of girls. Yeah, good times. Anyway, so after all that horrible health shit last year, I decided, you know what? I'm going back. I'm going to go over there and we'll see. I mean, I live in pretty much comfort. I'm coming to you live from a luxury apartment in Knoxville, Tennessee, sitting on a double wide leather recliner in front of a 55-inch. I think it's 55. Maybe it's only 50. I don't know. I'm old. Cut me some slack. But it's a 4K curved Sammy. Pretty sweet. And I got a 70-inch 1080p beast in the living room. And then I got multiple old school tube TVs to hook up my retro consoles to. Even got a Laserdisc player and a VCR, which I don't really watch movies and stuff on those, but I do have my Laserdisc collection from back in the day. I got lots of Laserdiscs. In fact, if I had my camera on, there's one sitting behind my head right now on a, I don't know what you call it, some kind of tall 3-shelf thingy. It's behind my chair. Here, I'm going to do it. I can reach my monitor. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Gray hair and gray beard. Check me out. Look at that. Told you I was an old man. But look, that's a Laserdisc, boys and girls. The Evil Dead. What a great movie, and what an even better Laserdisc. My God, my hair looks bad. I have not washed it this morning. I woke up and said, this is fucking E3 day. I am not taking a shower. Who knows? I don't know. I may not even take one today. I may just be a filthy bastard all day. I ran to McDonald's and got me some egg McMuffins and hash brown thingies and had me a nice little breakfast in preparation of E3. Does anybody know what the 3 E's in E3 stands for? I think electronics is one of the E's. Entertainment being one of the other ones. Expo, maybe the third one. Electronic Entertainment Expo. I don't know. I know that they started at the Consumer Electronics Show. Because I've been to a couple of those. And it was so bad that they put all the video game shit out back in the parking lot. It was you talk about being treated like a second-class citizen. That's how CES treated the gaming industry. But I can remember standing right beside none other than Mr. Tom Kalinske, the president of Sega. Now, I was not having a conversation with him. He didn't even know I was there. But I slipped and slid and moved left, moved right, moved left, ducked here, ducked there, and made it up to that tent where he was at. And he was bitching out some of the CES show people because he was upset that they had the gamers out in the parking lot, 90 degrees heat, clear blue sky, no clouds, and it was pretty damn hot. He's a pretty cool dude. But again, yeah, I wasn't even talking to him, but I slipped up and was standing there, and I listened to him bitch out those guys. That was pretty fun. That's my E3 story because it's the closest that I've ever been to E3. by the time they went E3 proper, yeah, I was living various assignments overseas, and or was back with little kids, and I was like, yeah, I ain't going to that. Now I can go, and they're not having ones with a physical crowd. Last year's got canceled. This year is only, it's the make-believe E3, where they're just doing a digital show, which is still cool. Thank you, E3. Thank you, Xbox, for making this happening. They are going to have a real one next year. And if I was going to be here, I would definitely be there. But I ain't going to be here, so I'm not going to be there. Mojo going to be in Thailand or the Philippines, because I'm going to make Thailand my base of operations. I'm going to go get me a condo at Pattaya or Pattaya, however you want to pronounce it. And going to be living that condo life on the beach. But I will be taking trips monthly to the Philippines, Angeles City, a.k.a. the grown man's Disneyland. Yeah, fun times. Might even hit Vietnam, because I have never legally been to Vietnam. Now, I'm not going to admit to committing any kind of crime, but during my time on active duty, we were not allowed to go to Vietnam as U.S. service members. So I am not saying that I got on a boat on a certain river that runs through. Yeah. I've never done that and went from Thailand over to Vietnam. Nope. Didn't do that. And, but I'm going to go legally now. While I'm over there. Why not? Go check out the scene in Nam. Definitely will be going to Laos. I never know how to pronounce that one. Laos, baby. Do they call them Laotians? Yeah, somebody needs to correct me on all that. That's one of the ones I've not been to. And that's just to drive across a bridge. You go from Thailand and boom, yeah. So I'll be going there also. Like I said, definitely multiple trips to the PI. And again, could be 2 months, probably be a year. And then I might come back and decide I want to go live over there till I die, or I might just come back and stay here. Don't know. That's the great thing about hitting that stage in life. You are financially secure to do things, and you don't have to worry about that stuff. And I'm not rich. I had a life in the military, people, and a life of after the military working in a soda factory. So I'm definitely not rich. And I don't want to say lucky, but I was not smart. God, no. No one will ever accuse me of being that. But I did get money put away. So now I'm sitting on enough money to, if I wanted to, I could go buy a house, a nice house. Not a mansion, just an average house. I have money for that. I'm paying rent right now because I don't, why not? I'm retired from the military. I get a nice big fat retirement check. So I don't care that I'm paying rent. People are like, well, you're just throwing away money. You're giving them, you should, no. Well, yeah, yes and no. It does make sense. You want to own it and you're not, but you're still paying. The only person I'm screwing over was my kids because I'm not paying on a house that they'll get. But here's the thing. I have that money for said house in the bank. All them years I worked at Pepsi, I had a 401k that I just stuffed a crap ton of money into. I didn't need medical because I had that because I was retired from the Air Force. I didn't, so I put all that money that would have went for stuff like that, and then I made it hurt. And put money away in that 401k, and I lived off that. Well, I had my military retirement, and I had my Pepsi income, so I did pretty good. Had my sons on and off with me during all that time, and then the oldest one, he finally joined the Air Force himself. He's living in Germany, doing pretty good himself. My youngest still lives with me, and he's not young. He got him a factory job. I begged him to join the military. God, I don't understand why anybody that's not a certain age to go join the military. Come on. It's good times. Good job. But again, I put away all that money while I was working at Pepsi, and even had some pension money there. I guess because when I started, they had a pension, and then they changed it and started more 401, less pension, and then they changed that to where it was just all 401. So when I actually did have to retire because of the medical stuff, I didn't try to get Pepsi to pay anything because all those medical problems, I didn't blame on Pepsi. I'm not some scumbag guy. I had my money. So I cashed out those 2 little pension plans, and there wasn't that much money in those. I think I had about 43,000 or 46,000 that was in the 2 separate pension plans. It's like 20 in one and maybe 23 in the other, and I'm not 100% sure, but give or take. And then I just left that 401k money, which was about 140,000. Like I said, I ain't buying a mansion with that, but I live in East Tennessee. You can buy a pretty damn decent house for between 80 and 120,000, whether you're buying new or used or whatever. You can do pretty good for yourself. So anyway, I got that money in my 401k that I'm just sitting on. And then I get some disability money from the VA. Not a lot. I'm not 100% disabled, but I'm 80%. So I get a nice little boost to my pay, to my military paycheck, military retirement paycheck. I get some disability money on top of that. So I live pretty good, and I'm gonna live like a king in Thailand. Yeah, looking so forward to that. And there'll be videos going to talk about the whole gaming scene over there. Yeah, they do play games. But I think PlayStations and Xboxes might cost too much over there. But I know they sell them. I know you can get them. You can get, maybe I think Thailand's another one of those places where it's more about PC gaming because they can build them that big ass PC rig and get more value out of it for them than they can a console. But I don't know. I'm not living there. So, but once I get over there, we'll find out about all that. I'm going to hit those electronic stores and I'll be looking for cameras and that kind of electronics. I won't be looking for video game stuff. For a camera while I'm over there, I'm just going to be using my Android Samsung Note 20, or I don't know. It was the Note that came out last year, so it's not even a year old. It's got a pretty damn good camera on it. When I get over there, I'll just have to pop out my SIM card, buy a SIM card and a plan for over there, which I'd be doing regardless. So there'll be plenty of cool videos coming from showing you the whole bar scene and bar girls and ladies of the night, as well as video gaming. Lots of cool stuff to come. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I am sorry. I'm talking about something I'm looking so forward to, and that ain't happening until like October. That's my birth month, by the way. Yeah. So hopefully I'm going to be over there before my birthday's early in the month. So maybe late September is when I want to step on that aeroplane, make that flight to Thailand. But until then, we are down to less than 2 hours from E3. I know all them ponies got big old pony tears in their eyes because their company's not there and they're not getting to see anything. But dudes, Sony's put out so few games, so few stuff for your PS5. It's pathetic. You had that one remake of some Souls game that, unless you like that shit, and most PlayStation guys don't actually like that kind of stuff because it's too hard for them. They're not the best of gamers. Yeah, you're not. So it's out there. But what else did you have? Some kind of all-star racing garbage that was horrible that Sony tried to sell for $70 and got bitch slapped and had to just turn around and give that fucking thing away. It was an embarrassment. They actually tried to sell that thing for money. It was some total hot garbage. What else? What else? Shit. Oh, Returnal. Wow. Speaking of pure hot garbage, that was garbage. Yeah, nobody liked that. I think that one was supposed to be true PS5. Although we all know how that don't happen very often. What was the one that they bought from that? I guess the company that makes Borderlands made it for them. I'm not even sure, but it was Godfall. That was horrible, and it was supposed to be PS5 only, but yeah, that's coming out for the PS4. So much for that PS5 exclusivity that they brag about. We got exclusives. You're so full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about because you don't. Xbox, on the other hand, has the fucking games. And Microsoft drowned us in games. And we get all these up-res games and the up frames per second. My God, everything's now 60 and all these 120. People, you ain't getting those over on the Sony side. You know, if a game has been remade or it's one of Sony's 4 or 5 so-called bangers that they've done an upgrade for the PS5, you might get that. But you get this on everything. And you got to pay for all that on their side, by the way. Shit don't come free. But on the Xbox side, they just give you all that shit. It's been hundreds and hundreds of games. It's amazing. And with Game Pass, you don't pay for anything. And today starts, wow, they're going to announce so many fucking games. The rest of this year is just, we're getting not double, not triple. We're getting quadruple the fucking games Sony's getting. It pays to be and I jokingly say it pays to be an Xbox gamer, but the truth is you don't got to pay for any of these games. They all day and date in Game Pass, the number one service, bar none, gaming. But you're going to hear about a ton of stuff, some of which you've never heard about before. First time mentions. And there's going to be other games that you've heard about a bunch of times, and they're going to show you some gameplay for those. And I'm not a gameplay guy. I know the hardcore gamers and fanboys, and even on the Xbox side, they get on me on that. I just like the trailers. Fuck. I like pretty things. I like to look at pretty, shiny things. Oh, shiny, 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 shiny. That's what I like. I get bored watching some idiot online play a fucking game. That doesn't do nothing for me. It just don't. I don't care about gameplay. If it's a certain kind of game, I already know I like it. I like what I like. I'm old. I know what I like. I don't need to ever see the fucking gameplay. Just show me that shiny trailer, and I'm happy. But I will admit, that is not the popular view. So watch at your own risk saying those kind of things, because yeah, they will attack you. I get attacked on Twitter all the fucking time. It's okay. If you don't have thick skin, you have no business on Twitter anyway. Because trust me, you tweet about stuff, you will get some people who absolutely appreciate what you do and love you for it and enjoy it, and it's great. And then there's those fucking trolls that'll hate on it. No matter what you put on there, they'll hate on it. That's Twitter. That's also YouTube. I mean, let's be honest. Might even be worse on YouTube. Everybody says Twitter's the biggest cesspool and worse, but I don't know. I find so many fake Xbox gamers, because Xbox is now the popular platform. It is the most popular platform. All the big YouTubers are all bailing out from their all before they were Sony only. Now they kind of do both, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking even some of the big ones that were over on IGN. 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Them motherfuckers was never going to show up on a Xbox podcast. Now you can't keep them off. Destin Legary, Shaggy himself, he's popped up on the Iron Lords podcast. I think he's been on a couple of other ones. And you know what? I'm not knocking them. Almost nobody watches their shit anymore. Everybody watches the big YouTubers do their podcasts, like RDX and Xbox 2 and BDXP, Best Damn Xbox Podcast on Saturdays. I'm joking on that last one. That's my podcast, by the way. And we only usually do it a couple times a month. Me and the Gaming Werewolf. We did our E3 show last week, so we were like, we skipped this week. It was like, yeah, what are we going to, not going to just repeat what we'd already said. We'll wait until the show drops and all that. And then next Saturday, we'll let everything percolate for like a week. And then we'll come in strong with what was good, what was bad, and what wasn't there, meaning Sony. But yeah, Best Damn Xbox Podcast, BDXP. Come check it out. And please, check out my channel, Mojo_Blues on YouTube. I'm finally building up. I wouldn't call them videos. There's just a lot of podcasts and shows, but these aren't your, today. All right. Today's is where I'm just talking about E3 or my forward looking trip to the Philippines come October. But even again, I'm not just talking about the popular same conversation, same topics that every show talks about. I go with what I want to talk about, and people seem to like that. They don't seem to come and watch, but when they do, they tell me they like it. So that's cool. I average 15, 20 views a week. Yeah, well, RDX averages 8, 10,000. I get my couple, my 15, 20. And you know what? It's all good. I don't have to kiss Sony's ass. Don't have to kiss Microsoft's ring. And I'm an Xbox guy. Don't get me wrong. I love my Xbox. I got the Series X. I am buying. I haven't bought it yet, but I am going to be buying me a Series S to take with me to the Thailand first, then Philippines. But yeah, that little man, he fit good in a suitcase. So I'm going to take a 2 terabyte hard drive, the S. I may even get the external SSD for it, because that'll also work with my X when I get back, whenever I get back. I could take the X, but it's a $500 console and a lot of it takes up not a lot more space, but it takes up a little bit of suitcase. And I only want to take one suitcase with me over there. I got a handful of black t-shirts and a handful of khaki shorts. That's all Mojo man wears. And chicks dig the flat top. Although it don't look very flat right now. I need a haircut bad, don't I? Holy shit. That's all you see. I'm slumped down in my double wide recliner. It's getting that time. We're about 90 minutes out. And I'm thinking somebody might have a true pre-E3 show about to start that might be a little more entertaining than just me talking about my trip to Thailand. Yeah. Gonna be interesting. I got YouTube booted up, but I'm not seeing any new. Then again, my feed's all messed up, full of Thailand videos. Once you start watching something, yeah, you get a ton of that same kind of video. So I got all these travel videos from Thailand, and it's pretty cool stuff. What do we got here? Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase. Xbox On. Jesus Christ, there's already 2,000 watching that. And that's just a motherfucking countdown. What's wrong with you people? You got Mojo Blues over here talking up a storm. creating controversy and putting wild ideals into the heads of strangers about going and living in the Far East. Instead, you're watching a fucking countdown. What is wrong with you people? There's mine. That rarely shows up in my own timeline. BDXP, Best Damn Xbox Podcast. It says worst day of the year for the Sony fanboys. I even spelled it BOIS. They hate that. Whatever. What else we got? We got Randall Thor scheduled for noon. So 1 hour prior to the show starting. He's going to be doing, I'm assuming Jez will be there with him. He's going to be live in about 30 minutes. Ain't nobody watching him. And they shouldn't be. His show ain't fucking started. Here's Destin Legary. Xbox Bethesda Showcase, final predictions E3. I actually like him now. I'll be honest, I don't want to say I hated him or disliked him, but he was, I didn't care because he was on IGN, and even though he was on the Xbox show over there, but I guess he realized that Xbox is the way to go this gen, and not just Xbox. He still does all his pony stuff. He's still a PlayStation guy. But now he covers and reports stuff about Xbox. And that's pretty cool. I give him his props. And he does pretty good work. But what else we got? We got Barrio Barreto. Lots and lots of activity from somebody called Subic Bay Johnny. He's an old Navy retired guy. Shout out to his videos. Pretty cool stuff. I'm going to spend some time in Barrio Barreto and Beloy Beach in the Philippines when I go there. But first, I'm going to spend some time in Thailand. Going to go do a couple weeks in Bangkok. Then I'm moving to Pattaya and getting that condo. And then I will get on a plane and go to the Philippines and start out at Angeles City. Yeah, what did we call that earlier? It is the grown man's Disneyland. Yeah, good times. But I will pop over to Barrio Barreto and Subic Bay and all that stuff. I know some people there. Good times. All right, back on hand. Xbox and Bethesda E3 Showcase GameSpot. They got a couple thousand pre-watching. What the fuck is wrong with you people? E3 Day 2 Square Enix. Yeah, that's pretty fucking lame. I got 22,000 watching it though, because it's GameSpot. I'm gonna click on that fucker. I think I got the sound down, so yeah, I do. Evolution of the Xbox console video. The guy got the countdown on for an hour and a half for the show starting, but that's pretty cool. They're showing something, so I get why there's people watching that and not my channel, because they got fancy vids. I just got me Mojo Blues, the king of YouTube. Yes, I was voted the king of YouTube. What, you're saying you didn't get to vote on that? Well, tough shit. You wasn't around when we had the vote, and I won. So I am the king of YouTube. Even if I don't do videos, I just throw up my podcast, but there will be videos coming. And then a lot more videos when I get to Thailand and Philippines and places like that. And these aren't going to really be travel videos. I'm going to be talking about the same shit I talk about now. Movies and games. But I'll just be doing it from Thailand. And I'll be doing it with some really young hottie, LBFM or Thai chick. Yeah, good times. Thailand opening, Phuket, no quarantine, entry rules and whatever. Yeah, but I think you're stuck. If you do that, no quarantine opening and go to Phuket, I think you're stuck there. You're not allowed to go elsewhere. I guess after a certain amount of time, I guess. They're calling it the Phuket Sandbox. There's a set of rules and regulations, and I'm not reading that because when I go, I'm going for the long haul, or I'm going to be living over there. So hopefully some of these restrictions will go away by the time I'm ready to travel. Oh my, here's some more Philippines. A lot of these channels have like old guys and their hot young wives or hot young girlfriend videos. It's pretty cool, actually. And I kind of fit into that, being that I'm an old fucker. Yeah, you don't think I am? Look at this crazy old face. Oh, yeah. Mojo will be in Thailand. All right, stop it. You're losing it, man. We're supposed to be talking about E3. This is my morning of E3 show. Here we go. Iron Lords, 12:30. Good. They're only going to do 30 minutes before. That will probably be the one I watch. But I don't know. Sometimes when you watch these live shows, you got the actual conference going and you got these guys talking and stuff. And I may just watch the show and then either maybe try to jump on later to do my own thoughts about it, or if somebody invites me to be on their show, which y'all all know, I sometimes pop up on other people's shows. Next week, unless something happens to change it, I'm going to be on Xbox 448's podcast. Next podcast, I believe he calls that thing. He's been on forever. I've never been on his show. He came on my show, my BDXP one time. I've never went back because he showed up on my show and I got the most views I'd ever had. So if I go to his show, I mean, he might get one additional view. So I'm not important to these big time YouTubers, but he's a cool dude. So and shame on you, Mooch and Crap, for how shitty y'all treated the Xbot. Shame on y'all. Whatever. What else we got? We got TXR. That's some old school podcast. Number 185, where they talk about what happened at E3. That baby's not till 9 o'clock tonight. That's their normal time. That's Tim Dog's podcast. There's just a bunch of other guys on it that nobody cares about it. I know that sounds awful. And some of those guys are really good guys and they're really decent. But the truth is, it's Tim Dog's show. Yeah, so the TXR, maybe change it to Tim Dog Podcast. Wow. More Thailand, Bangkok, and Hula Hen. I'm watching too many videos from over there, people. My whole timeline's all whacked up with that stuff. You know, if you go a day or two and don't click on any of them, they disappear. No big deal. What else we got going on this week on Xbox? That's one day ago. These are all older ones. So yeah, nobody's live right now but me, people. What the hell is fucking going on? I wasn't even on gaming. That was just on my hall. Here we go, gaming. Ubisoft Forward from 18 hours ago. Oh, what else we got? E3. That was that GameSpot one with 21,000 watching. And there's suckheads at GameSpot. Man, about 10 of those. There's 21,000. About 10 of you fuckers could come over and watch a real show. Watch Mojo Blues talking E3. Here's another GameSpot. My God. It was from 16 hours ago for the Ubisoft and the fuckers at Gearbox. Gearbox are dicks, by the way. They make one good game and they've already beat that game into the ground. And their owner guy is like a perv, always causing trouble. So yeah, I guess I'm off Gearbox's Christmas list. Whatever. To be honest, that's the other great thing about having a YouTube show that nobody watches. You can pretty much get away with anything, and it can't come back and haunt me because hey, I'm old. So it's not like I'm ever going to get famous and have something come back and embarrass me. Like I said, I'd be wearing the black socks and the tennis shoes with shorts. I got no shame, people. I almost died last year. I just don't care anymore. I care about being alive and having fun. And actually, even before I got sick, that's what I cared about. Yeah. I'm going through everything, and yeah, no current big time YouTuber has a has their show going yet. So anybody that pops in here and is listening, you're safe. I'll let you know when it's time to get off my show. I will shut it down. Don't worry. We've not been on but for 1 hour, so I'd like that. Let's see that we can milk about 30 more minutes out of this baby. Do a 90-minute Mojo Blues E3 morning up spectacular. Should I actually even talk about E3? I mean, I've been talking about everything else but E3 on this morning of E3 spectacular with Mojo Blues. My God, hasn't it been talked to death? They keep doing these podcasts where they get the best guys from the best podcast all on one. I'll admit, I kind of like that shit too. The Iron Lords did it last Sunday, and Randall Thor 19, my boy Rand did one yesterday or day before. I don't know. That's pretty good. He had, I don't think Dealer was on his show, but he had Special Ed, who now uses Nick, which Special Ed, or Nick, as you like to be called now. I know Nick's your name, and I know you don't understand what Special Ed means. Okay, there was meaning to that in America because that's the dumb kids had to take special ed classes. So that was a cool YouTube name, Special Ed. Special Nick means fucking nothing, dude. I'm sorry, but it just don't. Maybe because you're in Australia, you don't get that. You don't. Yeah. Maybe you just thought you were special, and that's why you called yourself Special Ed. And I don't know. I don't know you. I know you're on Xbox ERA, and my thing is that era show from last gen, not Xbox ERA, but whatever was the PlayStation version of it, and it had some other name because it had a lot of pervs in it and child molesters and shit. They're all part of that whole PlayStation shit going on. It was pretty bad stuff. And I know your show don't have none of that crap, but that ERA era or whatever has some negative connotation that carries with it. But maybe you guys are doing such great work that all that'll be forgotten and stuff. I don't know. I've tried watching your shows a couple times, by the way, and you don't hold my attention very well. Says the guy with 0 viewers right now. 0. I got 0 watching, which empowers me to say whatever the fuck I want to say. Get over it. All 0 of you watching right now, take your complaints to YouTube because Mojo don't want to hear them. I talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to click on that Barrio Beretta video and have it playing in the background. I got no sound on, so I'm going to screw up my my E3 morning of spectacular with Mojo Blues. The man of 1,000 nicknames. And we're not even going to go into that because they just way too many great stories behind them all. Oh, they got these truck things that everybody rides in as taxis in the Philippines. And my God, if you've never rode in a truck, there's something special about it. You should pop on some of these videos. One particular one, a dude, he thinks he's me. He's like, he claims 2 Filipino wives. I think he's legally, maybe he is married to one. He lives with them both and calls them wife 1 and 2. Overstay Road is his channel. Marcos, he goes by. Hey, he's pretty entertaining dude. Yeah, most of the time he's full of shit and stupid and all that. And who's not? Who's not? Come on. But he can be really entertaining, and he sings better than me. All right, that's all I'll say about that. But he'll drop a little bit of song on you here and there. He likes to sing about girls with big butts. Who doesn't like that? I mean, my God. He says, my God, a lot too. Holy shit. I think I'm stealing some of his crap. Wow, I hope not. But yeah, I've watched enough of his videos that, hey, Marcos, if I'm stealing any of your shtick, my apology. There's nothing you can do about it because you know what? It's YouTube. you can try and take that up with me when I'm over there, because I will come to the Barrio Barreto, have a beer with you, and we'll talk it out like men. And plus, I'm not doing travel videos. My videos will be strictly about debauchery and video games. Yeah. Anyway, he'd be happy with the fact that I'm telling you to go watch his damn videos. They're highly entertaining. And his lovely wives he has, and one of his older ones, his girlfriend. Oh, I was in love with her. Helena Troy, he called her. Yeah, Marcos, where's Helena Troy? I haven't. Now you got Janice and wife number one. They're both great. I miss Helena Troy. Yeah. Hey, tell her Jake's coming. Oh yeah, that's one of my other nicknames, by the way, is Jake. Jake Slingshot. That's because I was in a foreign land, and the girl didn't know how to call me tripod, and the only thing she could come up with was Slingshot. I kid you not. Would I lie? Would I lie? I mean, come on. I got nothing to lie about. I'm old. It's all good. But anyway, yeah. So I am known world over as Jake. Jake Slingshot, or just Jake. Most people just call me Jake. Some people on YouTube want to start calling me Mojo. I think that's what I put as a channel name or something. I don't know. Mojo was my fucking cat back in the day. He has long since passed away. God love you, Mojo. He was a black, long-haired Persian. Great cat. Miss him. He was so good. I was like, you know what? I'm never getting another one. Lot of work put into having animals. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it. If you're going to take care of them and love them, then do it. Maybe someday I'll get me a dog. I've been saying I want a dog, but then I start talking about, well, I'm going to move to Thailand. I'm not going to force my son to take care of my dog. But when I come back, and I'm back for good, where I'll just maybe take vacations and go back over there to visit, not live. I'm actually going there to live right now. And so, yeah, no dog right now. But when I get back, I want a blonde lab. Yeah, female. I might even bring back a wife. And for those of you that don't know, and none of you should know, is I actually have a wife in the Philippines. That's not why I'm going over there, by the way, but I married this Philippine girl one time, and oh, she was wonderful. Oh, baby, I do miss her. But we had some issues getting her visa, and then I got back to the States and got into some trouble. Mojo did some naughty stuff. And I had two teenage kids. And man, life can be a bitch. And I was having problems because I'd gotten in trouble. I was in the Air Force, and yeah, then I got that second job, and I was working because I was about to get out of the Air Force, but I was working at Pepsi, and I doubled up for almost a year to get myself out of the hole that I dug from getting in trouble, and never just got her over here. And then it got to the point where I'm like, well, baby, I was on the phone with her almost daily at times, using Skype or what's the one on Facebook messaging. You do live calls there, video calls. Don't cost anything. Shit. I'm gonna go to the embassy. I'll just go to the embassy, and we'll start your paperwork. But I'm not flying over there, and we're gonna be able to put you on a plane, and I'll pay for your plane ticket. We'll fly back together. She just never would. I don't know, to this day, don't understand. Maybe she had a boyfriend or husband. I don't know. Don't worry about it. I did my shit back here. I'm not a saint. I love her, but I've learned to love or live without her. Life goes on. Oh, got to get some teas. I talk about the fabulous Marilyn Allen, formerly my wife. Actually, still legally she is. And one of the reasons why she couldn't get a visa is because it turned out that after she married me, or I should say before she married me, she'd married some fool over there. So But there is no divorce in the Philippines, people. It's a Catholic country. You have to get an annulment, and that costs some money. And I didn't find out that she had previously been married till we were about to leave the country. We were picking up her damn visa that day when the embassy informed me that she would not be getting a visa. And I had like 1 week to our flight to head back to the States. Man, you talk about a soul-crushing thing happening. Yeah, that was one of those things. So I put her on a plane, and I was living in Korea. She lived with me over there and with my kids. So I put her on a plane and sent her packing back to the PI, and I got on a plane with my 2 sons and came back to the States. And yeah, shit happens. But you move on, man. Life goes on. I'm not crying about none of that, by the way. That all sounds horrible, but it really wasn't. I mean, it was to me, but just for a little bit, and then everything's okay. I moved on and stayed in touch with her. God bless her. Hell, before her, I lived with a Russian girl for a couple years over there, Tanya Tarantinko. Probably not pronouncing her last name correctly anymore. It's been a long time. But I loved her and should have married her. She was, yeah, but shit happened. Russia was still bad guys then. I was on active duty, and I had a security clearance that I could not lose. And I ended up having to put her on a plane and sending her back to Russia. But I stayed in touch with her after that. I was honestly planning on marrying her. And then, yeah, I got in some trouble. Some of this trouble was the same trouble I was talking about earlier, because the stuff with the Russian girl and the Philippine girl may or may not have overlapped sometime. Whatever. Get off my back. Anyway, after I was living with her and she went back to the Philippines, or excuse me, she went back to Russia. She lived in Vladivostok. That's when I met Mylene, Marilyn. Oh, yeah. LBFM, baby. Little brown fuck machine. They loved her. Missed her. Still do. We ended up living together for a couple years. Well, that first time, we were probably only together for, I think it was like 14, 15 months. And then I had to go. My time in Korea was up. I didn't even try to get her a visa back then. Don't know why. I just know some stuff had happened. And it just seemed like, yeah, it's time to send her back to the Philippines and I go back to America. And that be that. We wasn't married then. We just lived together. But holy shit. All this time, years and years went by now, guys. And I was starting to get a little older. Almost middle age, if not flat out middle age. But I got back to the States and found that when I was going out to clubs and things that I wasn't pulling in the good, I wasn't doing how I used to do. I was missing some of that loving I'd been getting overseas from the LBFMs and beautiful Russian ladies and bar girls or whatever you want to call it. Some people really dislike that kind of life, but man, I was missing it bad. I was missing Mylene. So I just called her one day out of the blue and said, actually, before I called her, I called one of my buddies that I'd had already been stationed with this guy a couple of times and over the years. I was like, dude, I'm going to marry old girl in the Philippines. You coming with me? Didn't even blink an eye. He was like, yeah, when we leaving? So we set it all up. And then I called her and said, baby, I'm coming over there and we're going to get married. Then, of course, I did the really shitty thing. Me and him got over there, partied our ass off. Oh, and it was girls and booze and you name it. A lot of debauchery. Even a couple of trips to the hospital. Oh, my God. We had some serious fun. and then I called her and said, I'm here, baby. I was not a nice guy, but she forgave me. She still married me. And then I had to go back to the States. I was, and goddamn second Gulf War happened on me. Some bitch. So off to the desert I go playing soldier, even though I was in the Air Force. Got stuck over there and didn't get her paperwork done or whatever to get her a visa to come to the States. And we was over there a long time during that second Gulf War. Holy shit. I mean, I did time in Saudi and time in Iraq proper. Fuck. Baghdad Tower. So then you motherfuckers actually landed in Baghdad. I was the one controlling your jet, or I might have been on a microphone behind the Iraqi that was controlling your jet. But either way, I was the one making sure you landed safely. Holy cow, guys. Anyway. You liking the war stories? Good times. So finally, I get back to the USA. Back in the USA as back in the USA as the Beatles sang. Holy smokes. A lot of time had passed. And then I was facing a mountain of paperwork because this is all post 9/11, man. To get a fucking visa was all of a sudden a lot harder than it used to be. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just put in for assignment in Korea. Pay, the Air Force will send me over there, but then I'll pay for my own apartment downtown and she'll live in it and I'll have a room on base and I'll live downtown. But then also at the same time, no sooner than I get over there, my crazy ex-wife, who I should have known wasn't going to be able to take care of the kids, and of course she couldn't, so I had a great commander at the time, and he's like, Jake, just get on a jet on your own dime, go get your kids, bring them back on your own dime. I will allow you to live off base, and we will help pay for that. I'll let you get housing money. He did. God bless him. He was a good man. And, well, I'd already gotten BAS anyway. So that made it easy. I just went and got my kids, brought them back, got a great apartment. We lived above a Family Mart. That's like a 7-Eleven for you people that's never been overseas. I don't think there's Family Marts in the U.S. There might be that I don't know about. Anyhow, brought her from the Philippines over. That was interesting, introducing my wife, former bar girlfriend, to my teenage sons. I had never met her. They didn't know nothing about her. But it was pretty cool. I told them, she's not your mom. She don't want to be your mom. She's just an adult authority figure living in the house. She'll be your friend. She's good people. But she's here for me. She's my wife. I'm sorry. I didn't marry somebody that's mom-like. I didn't. I married a wild and crazy Filipina girl. But you'll like her. She's really good people. That's all that matters. Are you a good person in life? Me, I'm not. I'm not a nice person. But I'm good. See, there's a difference. You can be good and not be nice. Someday I'll have to have this explanation, and when I get 2 or 3 people on here, and I'll try to explain what all that means. But anyhow, kids got along great with her. We lived there like 3 fucking years, man. Lived like kings too, because I was collecting the housing allowance for Korea. I was collecting the housing allowance. But let's just say that. I'm not going to admit to anything else other than I was collecting a housing allowance, which I was authorized. But we lived really good off base in Korea, in Songtag, where I was the mayor too, which was pretty cool. But then when we got time, finally was getting around to getting her visa because it's time to head back to America. That's when I found out that when she was like, I don't know, 17, 18, somewhere in there, 16, I don't know. She got married in the Philippines. Turned out the old boy was married to some other girl or lived with some woman and had kids by her. And she didn't want none of that. She's a good girl. She had a letter from like her village mayor saying that, she was never going to be with that guy, that he was a fuckhead. And so, that was that, though. The embassy, we didn't let her get denied, or we'd have never been able to get her a visa. We withdrew our request for it. And then I hung my head in shame and got on a plane and came back to the U.S., where I promptly got myself into some trouble due to drinking. Hey, I ain't going to deny, man. I'd been living the big life over there, partying, and had a nice, smoking, hot, young Filipina bride. It was good. And then suddenly I was without that bride, and I was back in the States, and Did a little too much drinking and got myself into some trouble. But you know what? I hunkered down, man. I had two teenage kids with me. So I hunkered down, did the right stuff, got out of trouble, finished my Air Force career, retired outstanding. So got a job at Pepsi, doubled up actually for my last year. I was working Pepsi and Air Force. Got myself out of financial trouble or whatever, but again, all that time went by. Hadn't got her over here and just didn't. And we stay in touch, yo. She's got her own place over there. She runs her own little food business. She cooks shit and sells it to the local other villagers and things. She's done a bunch of other jobs and stuff over there. Like I said, she's a good girl. I've taken care of her. One time she needed eye surgery and I didn't have the money. I was in the midst of that. I had a DUI and all the fines and and that was before I was doing the double up with Pepsi and the Air Force, or later just Pepsi by itself, but with my Air Force retirement. I was just my Air Force money, and I couldn't help her. I felt bad, but I didn't. She loves me and didn't care, and still says that she's my wife and she wants to come be with me over here. So I told her, you know what? I still love her. I'm gonna come over there. What we've been waiting on for like the last 5-6 months, I'd already be there, was because I still got to get some heart surgery. When I had the heart failure last year, I was in the hospital doing those EKGs and MRIs and all that kind of stuff. They discovered that I've got an blocked artery in my heart. Not that severe. They actually, surgeon's office pushed back doing surgery multiple times. Like, you're going to be okay. We're pretty much booked up anyway on surgery, and we'll get you in. Don't worry. We're looking after you, Jake. And then it got time, and it turns out you have to have a bunch of my teeth pulled, because even though I love my teeth, they're all my own, but apparently I got some bacteria under the gum line, and you just can't get to that when you get to my age and you've not taken care of your teeth well enough. Apparently I haven't, even though they're not that bad looking. They're okay. And they're all mine. They're not, yeah. But whatever. I ain't got a choice because I got to have the heart surgery. So, but then nobody wanted to pay for that shit. So, I'm just going to pay for it out of my pocket. The dental work, the extractions, and then some inserts. What do you call those? Dental inserts? That's not what they call them, but I just don't want dentures. I want maybe a combination of a denture and a couple of those inserts on each side of the denture that holds it in place. I don't know. They'll tell me what I can get and what I can't. Some of it'll be on what I can afford and what I can't. But whatever I can't afford here, by the way, I can get over to Thailand and I can just get all of it done to the highest standard and what I could never afford in the States, and I can just pay for it over there. But anyway, so I'll get whatever I can get here that I can afford now. And then once I get that done, they'll do the bypass surgery. And then as soon as I heal up from that, I'll be off to Thailand. Holy cow. That's way more information than you fuckers needed to know. But it's E3 Spectacular Sunday Morning Blowout with Mojo Blues, and giving you the backdrop on his planned trip to Thailand and some of his life's adventures. Yeah, I used to tell stories when I was at Pepsi on some of my exploits from around the world. I think most of the time them fuckers didn't even believe me. And I don't blame them. If you've not lived overseas and understand that life, holy cow, if you don't understand, you just don't. And there's nothing somebody can say that'll make you understand till you've been at a bar and actually went, Mama, how much for her, give me a deal. And then you end up bar finding like 8 honeys. And then on your way back to the hotel or crib, you pick up like 4 strays, and all of a sudden you're in a hotel room with 12 buck naked Filipinos. So naturally, you play some games, you have some fun. Good times, but But if you've not done something like that, I doubt you can imagine it. I don't think I ever imagined shit like that until I was in places overseas and done stuff like that. Yeah, some of these stories I should not be telling live on the air. I don't. That's not cool. I once was in Mousy again. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now. When I was living down in Panama, I picked up a couple of girls. I kept them naked for like a couple of weeks in the house. that was crazy. I'd have them doing ironing and shining my boots and cooking and playing video games. But I made them stay buck naked. It was fun times, people. Stop it. If you could do that, you would too. I don't want to hear it. I know better. Sin is an easy thing to slide into, people. Like I said earlier, I'm maybe not a nice guy. I'm a good person, but I may not be nice. You just got to overlook that part of me. But let's get off of here. We got about 4 minutes, and that will be we'll be at 90 minutes. And we're right now 1 hour from E3 and Xbox blows the doors off. My prediction, 3 new studios they're going to announce. And at least 2 never before announced IPs. I don't know if they're both going to be AAA, but there's going to be at least 2 games that we've not known about. And then there's going to be a crap ton of games we've known about that's going to get hard release dates. I'm telling you, the rest of this year, wow. If you ain't got one, go get one. Hell, even if you just got to go get a 1X or a 1S. Fuck, go to a pawn shop. They got plenty of those. You can't find any of the Xboxes in any of the department stores and places. But you can still get those at like pawn shops and places. Get one. Sign up for Game Pass. It's spectacular, the amount of games that we're getting throughout the rest of the year. I mean, this is the older generations. You couldn't have just a PlayStation. Let's be honest. You needed that Xbox with it, or you needed that Nintendo console with it. This is the first generation ever where all you fucking need is an Xbox. You don't need the Switch. If you want the Switch, yeah, there's lots of great retro games you can play on the Switch, but you know what? There's actually a lot of great retro games you can play on the Xbox. Maybe not as many. I'll admit that. Not as many as on Switch, but there's still more than enough. Trust me. The retro scene on Xbox is booming. So you're all right there. Now, the Nintendo exclusives, yeah, that's the only place you're going to get them. That's the same thing with Sony. Sony has even less. They have so few bangers. It's not worth worrying about. Just get that Xbox, and then if you've got a Switch, you're covered there. And if you're like me, I'm going to buy that new Switch Pro when it comes out. My ass will be over there sitting on the beach, drinking some mango booze concoction and playing my Switch. And on that, Thailand Jake says, thank you for watching. We will see you next Saturday on the Best Damn Xbox Podcast, a.k.a. Everything But the Kitchen Sink Podcast, with myself, Mojo Blues, and the one and only Gaming Werewolf. That will be Saturday night at 8 p.m., where we truly will discuss everything that happened, that's about to happen at E3 today. Goodbye, folks.